Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nasalli ala rasulihil kareem. So just to recap and to put into place what we have learned yesterday, we said what? That we have a fa'il can be mu'annath. If it's zahir, what does it mean by being zahir? The fa'il comes after the fa'il. If it's majazi, meaning not a real mu'annath, then you have a khiyar. You can bring mudhakkar or mu'annath. If it's jama' mukassar, you got a choice to bring mudhakkar or mu'annath. If it's haqiqi, then the fa'il is either muttasil or munfasil. If it's munfasil, you have a khiyar again. And if it's muttasil, you have to bring ta'neeth. If it's mudhmar, if it's haqiqi, majazi, both places you have to bring ta'neeth. In mukassar, you have a khiyar. You can bring ta'neeth, you can bring ifrad, or you can do mutabaqa with the zamir. Now we carry on. We do a few examples to see how it works. And how this mutabaqa, tadhkir, ta'neeth, khiyar, what does it all mean? So we have here, وَلَا يُقْبَلُ مِنْهَا شَفَاعَةً. So who's a fa'il in here? Well, fa'il, na'ib al-fa'il have the same rules. Okay? So who's a na'ib al-fa'il? Shafa'a. Shafa'a means intercession. So is this fa'il haqiqi? Okay, is it fa'il zahir or is it mudhmar? If zahir comes after the fa'il. Fa'il comes first, fa'il comes afterwards. So now you have to look, is it mu'annas haqiqi or mu'annas majazi? It's mu'annas majazi. So therefore you have a choice. So what has happened here? You have mudhakkar. And even along with being this double choice, because why? It's also munfasil fasila. So you don't look at the munfasil, the main thing is a majazi. But even on top of that, if it was haqiqi, even then you have a choice because of the fasal. There's a space between the fa'il and the fa'il. Yes? Acha. Next one. فَإِذَا نُفِخَ فِي الصُّورِ نَفْخَةٌ وَاحِدَةٌ. نَفَخَ يَنْفَخُ نَفْخًا, to blow. في الصُّور, in the trumpet, and نَفْخَةٌ وَاحِدَةٌ, to be blown. So this is the fa'il. Is it zahir or mudhmar? It is zahir. So the fa'il is zahir. So we're talking about this is zahir. But what is it? Majazi. So what do we have in la yuqbal? Khiyar. Yes? Fa'il is what? Zahir. Haqiqi or majazi? Majazi. Therefore what happens? You have khiyar. وَإِذَا الْمَوْءُودَةُ سُئِلَتْ. وَإِذَا الْمَوْءُودَةُ سُئِلَتْ. Maw'uda is a girl who was buried alive. In the Arabs, in the pre-Islamic culture, they used to bury the girls alive when they didn't want them. So what's the fa'il? سُئِلَتْ. Is it zahir or mudhmar?
Mudhmar.
Is mudhmar. So what does it have to be?
It has to be
ta'neeth. Because it's referring to maw'uda. Correct? So when it's mudhmar, the here is a fa'il which refers back to what? The maw'uda. So it's mudhmar. This is the fa'il here. This is not the fa'il. This is the fa'il here. So now it has to be mu'annath. Okay? إِذَا الشَّمْسُ كُوِّرَتْ. إِذَا الشَّمْسُ كُوِّرَتْ. So kuwir is a fa'il. What's the fa'il? Is it zahir or mudhmar?
It's mudhmar.
Mudhmar, because it comes first. The zamir, the fa'il is here. So it has to agree with that. So it has to be what? Ta'neeth. You don't have a choice. You have to bring it what? Mu'annath. Because it's mudhmar. وَجُمِعَ الشَّمْسُ وَالْقَمَرُ. What kind of fa'il is this? الظاهر. Mu'annas majazi. So what do we have in Jumi'ah?
A choice.
We have khiyar. And here is mudhakkar. Yes? وَتَرَى الشَّمْسَ إِذَا تَلَعَتْ تَزَاوَرُ عَنْ كَهْفِهِمْ. So here, we have tara, you see. You will see the sun. When it rises, it cuts away, it deviates from the cave. We're talking about Ashabul Kahf. So that's not my discussion now. Here's Nahw discussion. So we have here Ash-Shamsa idha tala'at. The fa'il is of tala'at is what? Mudhmar or zahir?
Mudhmar.
The fa'il is mudhmar. So what does it have to be?
It has to be ta'neeth.
Ta'neeth. Even if it's what? Mu'annas majazi. And then tazawaru is tatazawaru. So even this is also, the fa'il is mudhmar. So it has to be ta'neeth. Yes? So tala'at tatazawaru. So that's mu'annas because it's mudhmar. Both of these pronouns refer to the shams, which is mu'annas. Once it refers to mu'annas, whether it's lafzi or haqiqa, majazi, it doesn't matter. It's mudmar, it has to be what? Mu'annas. Al-yawma tujza kullu nafsin bima kasabat. Right. Tujza. What's tujza? What's the fa'il?
It's mudmar.
It's a mudmar. Al-yawma, today, kullu nafsin, every soul will be recompensed bima kasabat, in lieu of what it did.
So kullun nafsin.
Pardon me? What's going to happen here? Who's the fa'il? That's the fa'il, isn't it? Is that mudhakkar or muannas? Mudhakkar. So why is it tujza? There are few words, well, mainly the word kull. It comes in other places as well, but mainly kull. Now the word kull, even though it's mudhakkar, if it's mudhaf ilay is what? Muannath. You can do i'tibar the mudhaf ilay. So yes? So what's happening here? If I say, let's leave it. Let's say here, we have the verb here, right? Ummu Khalidin. Khalidin. And we have a verb, Abu Fatima. Abu Fatima. Yes? Use the word dhahaba. What do I use in here? Dhahaba or dhahabat Ummu Khalid?
Use.
Who's going?
It'll be dhahaba.
If dhahaba, who's going? The lady is going, the is going. You don't look at the mudhaf ilayh, you look at Abu Fatima, what do you say? Dhahaba, dhahabat? Because who's going? The Abu. That's the rule of mudhaf. The mudhaf, the i'tibar is of the mudhaf, not the mudhaf ilayh. However, in the word kull, because kullun is not the real fa'il. Who's the real fa'il? The nafs. The kull emphasizes the nafs. So therefore, in the word kull, you do i'tibar of the mudhaf ilay. Because this is what? Mu'annath. Mu'annath what? Majazi. So in tujza, what do we have? We have here khiyar, because mu'annath majazi. You got it? So even though kull is a fa'il, we look at the mudhaf ilay. And then in kasabat, who's the fa'il in kasabat? Is a mudmar or zahir? It's mudmar, so it has to be what? Ta'neef, because it refers to the kasab, the nafs, every nafs. You got it? وَجَاءَ السَّحَرَةُ فِرْعَوْنَ. Translation of this: the magicians came to Fir'aun. So Sahara is what? Is jam mukassar. Correct? Sahir, plural of Sahir is what? Sahara. Remember the tip, some fa'il have the plural of fa'ala. Okay, for example, you get abidun becomes what? The abada. Okay, ulaika humul kafaratul fajr. So kafir becomes what? Kafara. Fajr becomes fajara. So that's a pattern of some, not all of them. Some of them have the pattern of fa'ala. So Sahara is a plural of sahir. Is jam'wa mukassar or salim? So what do we have in ja'a? Khiyar. And here's mudhakkar. مستهم البأساء والضراء. مستهم البأساء والضراء. البأساء. What kind of word is ba'sa? Massa, to afflict. Ba'sa is darra, is difficulty, hardship. What kind of word is ba'sa?
That is jama' mukassar.
Is jama' mukassar? What's the huruf asli in here? What's letter number 1? The jizr is what? Number 1, ba, alif, sin, followed by alif mamduda. 3 root letters. Ba, alif, sin, ba hamza sin, ba sun, followed by alif what? Mamduda. So this is going to be what? A mu'annath. It's mu'annath and ghayr munsarif. So originally is mu'annas because of alif mamduda. So it remains mu'annas, but because of alif lam it becomes munsarif. So that's why, what do you have it? Because now it's mu'annas. Ma'sa is what? Mu'annath. What kind of mu'annath? Haqiqa, majazi? Majazi, because Ba'sa is war, difficulty, hard. It's not a real female. So in Masattum, what do you have? We have khiyar. But here we use a mu'annas. Yes? وقالت اليهود ليست النصارى على شيء. وقالت النصارى. So let's look at it here. We have قالت. Who's the fa'il? Yahud. Yahud is the plural of Yahudiyun. So the Jews. So you have to remember another rule as well is that he hasn't mentioned that Nahw is that a jama' ismul jama' which refers to a group of people. You can also have that as mu'annath. For example, what's the Quran ayah? Kadzabat. What do you have before that? You have what? Kadzabat. Kadzabat qablahum qaw. What do you have? كذبت قبلهم قوم نوح. So even though the word قوم is a fa'il, why is it كذبت? Because it's ismul jama'. Ismul jama', meaning a collective noun. A collective noun. Because a collective noun is also in the meaning of what? It's also counted as what? Jama' mukassar. So that's why you have كذبت becomes, you have khiyar in here. You can say كذب القوم, or you can also say كذبت القوم. Similarly, Yahud and Nasara what? Ismul Jama' refers to a group of people. So what can you say here? So Yahud, so in here you have this is mu'annas. Mu'annas majazi also includes Jama' mukassar and Ismul Jama'. So you call it mu'annas majazi. So even as a plural or Ismul Jama', you also call it mu'annas, you call it majazi. So it becomes what? You got khiyar in here. In laysat, what do you have now? You have khiyar. Because why? This is what? It's not mu'annas. It's mujamma. Remember, al-rijalu qamat, al-rijalu qama, qamu. You can say both. Correct? So here you can say laysat. Sorry, this is my mistake. Sorry, laysat, because this is the file of this is what? This is the file. This is again same thing. Nasara is also again what? Majazi. So here you have what? Khiyar. Because the Jews said the Christians are not on anything. So the Nasara, this is the majazi. So this is khiyar in here. Following? كيف كان عاقبة المكذبين. This is a note. The rules of fa'il also apply to fi'l naqis, the ism of kana. So aqiba, what's aqiba? Muzakkar mu'annath? Haqiqa majazi? So what do you have in kana? You can have kanat, you can also have kana. So mu'annath, we still have kana, because in mu'annath, majazi. وَمَا كَانَ صَلَاتُهُمْ إِنْدَ الْبَيْتِ إِلَّا مُكَاءً وَتَصْدِيَةً. Salatum is what? Salatun. Ta marbuta. Mu'annath. Haqiqa majazi? Majazi? Have you been to Salat's wedding? No? You got married. Is it a real human being? Is it a living thing? So it's mu'annath majazi. So therefore in kana you have what? Khayar. You could say kanat salatuhu, or you can also say kanat, but you can't say it here because Quran, but in your own text you can say kana salatuhu ya kanat salatuhu. Okay? قالت امرأة إمران, the wife of Imran said. قالت, what's it going to be? Imra'an is what? Mu'annas? Mu'annas haqiqi. So here it has to be what?
Because it's
muttasil and haqiqi, so it has to be ta'neeth. حرمت عليكم أمهاتكم. It's haram to marry your mothers and your daughters and your sisters and whatever. So حرمت, who's the fa'il? Ummahat. Haqiqi and majazi? متصل أم منفصل؟
منفصل.
You have a فاصلة. So therefore حرمت, what do we have? خيار. Because حرمت or حرمت, but here's حرمت. يا أيها النبي إذا جاءك المؤمنات. مؤمنات حقيقي or مجازي؟
حقيقي.
حقيقي. متصل منفصل؟
منفصل.
منفصل. So in جاءك you have what? خيار. And جاء is what مذكر here. But in يبايعنك what's the ضمير in يبايعنك؟ بايع يبايع يبايع يبايعان يبايعون تبايع تبايعان يبايعنا. The ضمير, the file is what? مضمر. So it has to match.
Yeah.
Yes? It has to go back, it has to agree in number and gender. Because it's not the zahir, is mudmar. So it has to match mu'minat in number, plural, and gender, feminine. You understood? Let's do one Quran ayah now. وَقَالَ نِسْوَةٌ فِي الْمَدِينَةِ. So قال is mu'annas haqiqa majazi. So then qala has to be? It's a mu'annas haqiqi, but we're looking at what? It's what? Jama' mukassar. So it's mu'annas haqiqi, but we're looking at it not from the haqiqi perspective, we're looking at which perspective? The sigha perspective. It's mu'annas haqiqi, it's women are women. But the nisbatun is what? It refers to what here? Jama' mukassar. So here you have what? Khiyar. What do we have now? Qala.
How do you know which perspective to look at it from?
You give preference to the taqsir mukassar over the haqiqi. So if you have a haqiqi ana mukassar, you give preference over the mukassar. Okay? So the women in the city said, what did they say? Imra'atul aziz turawidu fataha. So Imra'atul aziz becomes what? The mubtada of turawidu. And that's the fa'il. So the turawidu, where's the fa'il in turawidu?
It's mudmar.
Mudmar. So you have to have it what now? Ta'ni. So the ladies, the wife of the Aziz said, she is this trying to seduce her slave. قَدْ شَغَفَهَا حُبَّا إِنَّا فَلَمَّا سَمِعَتْ بِمَكْرِهِنَّ. What's the fa'il? Mudmar, referring back to Imra'atul Aziz. And even here. So here has to be what? Arsalat. Correct? So far so good? Any questions? Is it all clear? Right. Now I said to you before, when I complain about detail, I don't complain about detail for the sake of detail. When I find it irrelevant. Where it's relevant, then it's brilliant. So there's something in the book which he hasn't mentioned, which I think is very, very important, is that when you have an, remember we said before, that a fa'il is what? Ma nusiba ila fa'lin aw ma fi ma'na. So you can have a fa'il of a fa'il. You can also have the fa'il of a what? Ismul fa'il. So regarding the fa'il of the fa'il, we've done that. So regarding the number and gender of the fa'il of the fa'il. So we have here fa'il and its fa'il. So you have the rules of number and rules of gender. Correct? Done. We've done those. What he hasn't discussed is the rules of a ismul fa'il. If you have ismul fa'il and its fa'il, what's the rules regarding number and gender of that? Are they the same rules or are the rules different? He didn't discuss that. He should have discussed that. It's very important. You understand? But as I said before, it's easy for us to say here. Like I said, what we have to do is, there's nothing wrong with being critical, but being respectful. So for example, even I'm writing my own notes. So every year it changes. And for us, it's so easy. We have a computer. We type it, we copy and paste, we change it, we print it, we edit it, we go back again. Now imagine writing a book like 400-500 years ago, 600 years ago. You have papers very hard to come across, expensive. You write it once, and to read it, to edit it, it's not that difficult. It's not. So yeah, we appreciate the efforts of that because of them that is reached us this ulum. So we respect that, but at the same time, you can be critical of the flaws within there. You get what I'm saying? So for example, let's say 100, 200 years ago. To do research on a hadith is very difficult. Not difficult, but you have to make sure you have all the books of Asma al-Rijal and Al-Kitab and the Rawis and all that kind of stuff. And all those materials not available. Now, you can do it in 2 minutes. A job that would take hours before, done in minutes, seconds here because we have all the computer programs. So, it doesn't mean that we don't appreciate the efforts of those before us. There's somebody before us narrated a weak hadith or a mawdu' hadith. They didn't have a chance to look. They couldn't find it. It's not in a book. We could just check straight on Google from there. You get a little tip. You go to Shamila, you check on Shamila, you find it. Read it. Okay, mawdu' within 2 minutes. So our effort is much less than the efforts of those before us. So it doesn't mean that we devalue the work of those before us. At the same time, it doesn't mean that we blindly follow them and say, well, they've done it, so it must be right. You get what I'm saying? So when I'm critical of some of the things in Nahw, it's not showing lack of appreciation, because without their efforts, it wouldn't have reached us. We have something to critique. If they hadn't written anything, we wouldn't have anything. But at the same time, we say, well, yes, this shouldn't have been mentioned. So anyways, it's a bit of a diversion or digression. So he didn't mention this. This is something he should have mentioned. Okay? So if we have a fa'il, ismul fa'il, what do we have? Ismul fa'il, and it has its own fa'il. What's the rule then? Does the ismul fa'il does it stay mufrad? Does it become mu'annas? Does it jama'? So we say here, we have 3 possibilities. You can have ifrad and tadhkir. So if we have ismul fa'il, and that ismul fa'il has its own fa'il. So for example here, هو الذي أنشأ جنات معروشات وغير معروشات والنخل والزرع مختلفا ألوانه. This is the hal of the nakhla والزرع. So this is now ismul fa'il. Ismul fa'il. And this is the fa'il of the ismul fa'il. The alwan, what is it? Jama'? Mukassar. And what have we got here? We got mukhtalif is mudhakkar and it's mufrad. So Allah brought forth the gardens. What state? That its colors are all different. You see the trees, you see like a massive date palm, light green, different shades of green. Same water, same soil, but they have different colors. Subhanallah wa tabarakallah. Yes? Correct? So al-awwal al-ifrad wa tadhkir. So you can have one possibility is you keep the ism al-fa'il mufrad even despite the fa'il being jama'. Another possibility is what? You do ifrad, meaning you keep it mudhakkar, but what do you do to it? You keep it singular, sorry. You keep it singular, but you change the gender. For example, qulubuhum, again, ism al-fa'il, and qulubuhum is a fa'il of the ism al-fa'il. But what happens to lahiyatan here? It becomes mu'annath. So now you do mu'annath, because my qulub is jama' mukassar. So you bring it mufrad mu'annath. So lahiyatan qulubuhum ism al-fa'il, and this is the fa'il of the ism al-fa'il. Yes? And you can also bring it jama'. For example, khush'an abasaruhum. So khash is a plural of khashi'. Their eyesight and their gazes will be lowered on the day of Qiyamah out of shame and out of awe. So khashi', the plural is khusha'. This is the fa'il. So even here, so in a fa'il, you can never have the fa'il afterwards and the verb before in a plural form, except on the logo of akaluni al-baraghith. Yes? But here, khush'an, you can do ism al-fa'il. You can have what? A plural. Only if it's mukassar. So jama' mukassar. You can make it al-jama' mukassar when the fa'il comes after it. So this is the ism al-fa'il. Ism al-fa'il. And this becomes the fa'il. And this can become mukassar, jama'. So when you have what? Ism al-fa'il, if it's own fa'il. The ism al-fa'il can either be mudhakkar or mufrad, ifrad and tadhkir. It can be mufrad and mu'annath, or it can be what? It can be jama' mukassar. Yes? You following? You understood? Subhanallah wa bihamdi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.